Hi, Reggie. Can you hear me? It's recording. Okay. Yes. Switch to Git Git branch. As you see in here, green branch is my active branch, and everything is ready now. As you see, here is empty. Yeah. What will I do? I will start first of all as a setup. I will show you the setup. First of all, we will install Node.js. Yeah, I will share with you guys. You can download Node.js from here. You can find Windows-based, macOS-based, and Linux-based Node.js source. And to control your Node version, you can use Node -v. And as I said, another dependency is NPM. NPM is a dependency manager, package manager. For example, for the Java guys, they are using the Maven or Gradle. NPM is doing exactly the same things. Yeah. To start one new, sorry, let me open my. What I'm doing in here, I created a brand new repository on GitHub, and I downloaded to my local machine, and then I will initialize one Node.js project. How I am doing these things, npm.init -y. npm init is enough normally. By default, as you see, it created package.json. I will let you know what is the meaning of the package.json. But if you don't put -y, it's step by step. It will ask what is it will ask step by step who is the other, what is the project name, what is the description. But with -v, it is creating everything for me. Let me open the project via VS Code. Oh, a window. Open folder and workspace FizzBuzz. I am opening the FizzBuzz project. Okay. I don't need anymore my terminal because VS Code has already terminal. You can use it. It is really nice. And package.json in here, as you see, you will see default package.json and readme file. As you see in here, it is empty. Let me fill with my readme file, proper one. Yeah, in general, when you create a brand new project, in the first place, better to work on package.json. And then if you start with the readme file, it will be very, very useful for other guys, other developer after you. Yeah, that's why I prepared the readme file in the first place. What I am doing, I will write to here. In here, let's have a look. In the first place, this is my project title, and this shows my header 1 tag. This is the header 2, and I am explaining what I am doing in here with that kind of. You can put a business description, job description, or you can give a link to Jira ticket as well. And then I am putting some setup information to readme file. First of all, how am I able to create this project? I created one folder, and then I jump into the folder, and then I check my Node.js version, and then I checked also NPM version, and I created one default package.json, and I will install Jest as a testing framework, and then I will install Express as a Node.js framework. Node.js has so many frameworks, and one of the popular one is Express. And yeah, to run your test, you can use this one, and then to see your code coverage, you can use this one. In general, yeah, you can add additional things to here, but in general, we are showing the roadmap to other guys. You know, normally with this README file, if somebody else start to work on your microservice or on your project, he or she doesn't require any information. What she or he needs to know, you should put in here. That's why I put these basic things to here. Yeah, let's jump to package.json. In general, name the project name. A version is, we are giving a version. These are okay. The main is in general, all of the Node.js projects starts with one main JavaScript file. For example, for the Java guys, first of all, JVM looking for main method class. In here, what you define as a main class, Node.js, when you start Node.js, it is by default look for the main, and it tries to find this file for the initialization, and it runs. And script side, I'm sorry. And script side, you know, you can automate your project via script side, because via package.json we can run custom JavaScript files. For example, as you see in here, test. It means when I run, for example, NPM test, By default, it jumps to script and it tries to run test scripts. What we assigned as a test, it tries to run these things. That's why this part is important. I will customize this part step by step. I will customize all of them. And repository, I downloaded all of the project from the GitHub. That's why package.json also has a continuous relation with my remote repository. When I finish my project, I will easily commit my changes to GitHub repository. If you do these things in the beginning, in the first place, you will be more comfortable for the future. Yeah, because later you have to create connection manually via remote command, but in the first place, if you do, no need to do anything. And keywords, others there you can imagine, and for the bug, these parts for the GitHub. Maybe you saw on the GitHub. Oops, sorry. On here, you see issues, pull requests, actions. Via package.json, you can put so many links to your project. So, as a second step, let's customize package.json in the first place, because at the end we will use our project is managed by package.json. That is really important part. It will download all of the Node modules. It will manage our project initialization and running. So, first of all, I want to prepare this one. Before this one, let me add my required dependencies. For example, jest. Let me add this one because both command is you will realize one important thing. There is one differences. You see something added. By default, when I run like this, it is automatically installing. It is the same as install express. It will download from the internet and it will put under the Node modules. Okay, as you see, it downloaded so many package pieces, small chunks to my Node modules, and then let me install my jest npm install. As I said, jest is developed by Facebook. Yeah, most of the React guys they are using the jest, and also most of the Node.js guys using also jest. There are so many testing framework on the market as a Mocha, as a jest. There are so many, yeah, but the jest is really a strong one. I am installing jest like this, save -dev. I will tell you why we are running like this. But in the first place, I want to install. By the way, when I install the dependencies, Express, it is creating automatically one object as a dependencies. When I install jest, it created one dev dependencies under the package.json. The differences between the dependencies and dev dependencies, for example, when you run your application on the production, it will manage only, it will check only package under the dependencies object. For example, in your local development, debugging, testing purpose, it will use dev dependencies. As you understand, on the production, as you know, you cannot run test. Okay, what in where should we run our test? We can run on the CI/CD pipeline. For example, before we start our CD, first of all, we can run our unit test, and all of the unit test depends on dev dependencies, what you defined under here. By default, before Node.js start, it installs all the package, and then after that, it runs your unit test. That's why we are putting our testing framework under the dev dependencies. Don't forget these differences. Yes, at the moment, do we need any other dependencies? No. Okay, let's continue with the package.json. In here, now we have now one testing framework. We can say to our Node.js project, for the testing purpose, use jest. How am I defining these things? Yeah, it is really simple. When I say as a test framework, use jest, that is enough. Under the script as a test, just write jest. And I need to do one another things as well. Yeah, I can customize also my things as a start. I will say, when I run my npm command with the start keyword, automatically run this command, index.js. Okay. Yeah, I think you understood. Under the script side, I am customizing my npm commands. For example, if I want to run test, I am writing npm test to my command line. It will automatically run all of the unit tests. If I want to start my Node.js project, it is very simple, npm start. Okay. This is, I can manage my project completely via npm, or you can manage your project. Also, you can start your Node.js project like this as well. Node index. Index.js. I haven't created yet index.js, but you know, it is the same thing. Instead of like this command, I am customizing my Node.js start, because in a script side, I can customize, I can assign so many commands. For example, before start, before build, you know, shutdown. You know, I can add so many commands under the script side. Yes, let's create our index first. Sorry. Yeah, I will create. There is no big deal in here. Index.js. Also, you can you know, you can create, instead of index.js, main.js as well. But if I create main.js, I need to update this one as well. Okay, because Node.js, I have to tell to Node.js, this program is your entry JavaScript file. That's why I need to tell to my Node.js. Okay, index.js. I created my index.js, and then I am starting to my Node.js code. Okay, what will I do? In the first place, I installed Express. I want to use Express features on my projects, because Express has so many nice to have and ready to use command. Otherwise, yeah, you have to write a little bit more code on your Node.js. Yes, let's start. What I will do, const express, and I will include my express. Oops, sorry for my keyboard. And in here, I define constant. You know, in a Node.js world, I am able to define my variables in a 3 different way. One of them is var. Second one is constant. The third one is let. Okay. Yeah. If I define with the var, it means predominantly for the global variable, for the global variable definition that we are using. For example, on the browser console, I define it with the x, for example, in here. If you remember, where was it? BBC in here. Yeah, I can define also variable instead of the const. I can define it also as a var, but we don't prefer a lot because var has the wide how to say, it has full privileges for the variable management. Yeah, when you define one variable via var, you can change type in the first place. For example, in here, let's say x equal 5, for example. It means V8 engine will understand x is a number. And then I can assign to var string 0 to hero. And then the var variable automatically will be converted to string as a string. And then I can assign also this x as an array. Oops, sorry. For example, like this. You know, it is var is so flexible and allows us to do everything. You know, I can assign also a function to variables as well. Yeah, the difference of the const, for example, when I define one object or variable via const, it means it will create immutable object. It means the reference will be same, but you can change the content. Okay, that's why for the memory management, for the memory allocation, that kind of optimization so important. Okay, yeah, that's why I define it constant, because I will create one express object and I won't change it. Why I am defining as a var? Because I will create one time and I won't change, so it can be immutable variable. For example, what's the difference with let, for example? Normally, we are using let, for example, in a for loop. When I create one for loop, index will change, right? Let give me flexibility of the variable content. I can, for example, when I define one index const as a, sorry, I equal 1. For example, it won't. Oh, sorry. It won't allow me to do. Okay, but if I define let xj, for example, and I am able to increase it, because let means yes, I created one variable, but it can be changed. Yeah, the nature of the variables, according to nature of the variables, we are defining const let. Okay, keep in your mind. That's why I created const object for the express. Okay. So let's continue. And then I imported my express library to my file, and then I will use I will use this library for my application as well. Express.
Sorry, is this Express library, is that something like readily available for Node, or what is this?
No. By default, it is not in a core Node.js core library. Core libraries of Node.js is HTTP, for example. HTTP server is a core library. But Express is completely a third-party framework. But in here, if you remember, I installed Express because it has so many nice to use method and functions. It is making my life easy.
Right. Okay, I missed that. Thank you.
Okay, and then Express has so many functions, as I said. That use express.json. I will create REST API. Normally, sorry, by the way, Express. Yeah, these are for the REST API. These are the requirements. By the way, let me finish this one. Normally, I was going to start with the unit test. Normally, these are the later phase. Let me finish this one, and then we will jump to unit test, because for the TDD, we are starting from the test and then business and then whole application. Yeah, we will define port as well. Yeah, as a port, I can get it from the environment variable, or I can assign directly like this port. And up listen. Port that function. Yeah, we can say console.log server is up. Okay, we will improve index.js, but normally when we create one Node.js project, first of all, we will write our test class. We will create our test class, and then according to test class, we will implement our business class. Let's create our test class. For example, FizzBuzz.test.js. Okay. Oops, sorry. You know, for the testing class, we have some special keywords for the testing class. Describe is one of them, and with the describe, you know, like a BDD, we are describing what we are testing. For example, FizzBuzz unit test, and I am creating describe. It is taking two parameters. One of them is title of the test. One of them is arrow function. In here, I will implement my test JavaScript code in this block. Okay, and then in a describe, it supports also sub test. That's why integration test. Oh, okay, not like this. Sorry. This. In here, I am saying in this big block, I will create some sub unit test. That's why I am defining it with IT. For example, fail, invalid, invalid check. Yeah, for the according to TDD method, what we have to do, let me write to here. For the TDD, we are following green, not green, red, green, blue step. In the first place, what we are doing, we are failing our test, and then we are writing our success test, and then we are optimizing, refactoring our code. This is the TDD approach. That's why step by step I need to apply to my test. First of all, it should fail. Let's, in the first place, it is a little bit weird, but in the first place, it should fail. For example, I will create one object. Let's create to here. Constants, FizzBuzz, service, EQ. Require in here. FizzBuzz.helper, for example. Oh, sorry. Okay, and then I am testing FizzBuzz implementation with now. In the first place, NPM test. Yeah, as you see, I run my test because and it failed because we haven't created our business yet. Why we are doing? Somehow, if it is success, it means we are doing something wrong. Because most of the real life, according to real life scenario, time to time we are doing copy and paste. Sometimes just because of the copy and paste, it is not easy to find the problem because we are thinking it was working on that project, why it's not working in here. On that kind of things, we can easily find the problems. I haven't created my business class yet. I haven't implemented my method yet. I haven't done anything, but if it is success, if I'm getting successful response, it means something wrong. Yeah, that's why it starts with red. Yeah, in other words, failure. Keep in your mind. Start in the first place, failure your code, and then try to do. At the moment, what was the problem? I don't have any class like this, right? I will create it. Let's create. FizzBuzz helper. Oops, sorry. FizzBuzz helper.js. Okay. I created FizzBuzz helper. Okay. Yes, in here. First of all, yeah, normally in my presentation, step by step, I was explaining everything, you know, what is module, you know, what kind of things, yeah. But, you know, I thought, you know, when I share this presentation with you guys, you can follow all the steps and you can read all of them and you can understand. But in here, today I start to do it via real life example to show you how we are working. Because in here, on the action time, sometimes it is getting much better. Yeah, I will create one module. I will explain what is the module as well. Export. Don't worry about it. Sorry. Yeah, modules. You know, when I import any package to my project, for example, I use it. I installed Express. I installed Jest. You know, all of them has so many modules in themselves. Okay, and they are exporting some of the class or functions via modules to make them publicly accessible. Okay, you know, I am creating one module. It means I am allowing this method to use from the other package or other class as well. That's why I am defining like this. I am creating publicly accessible class with the module export. So many different usage of the module, but in general like this. So, sorry. FizzBuzz, what was the name of the FizzBuzz? Let's IMPL implementation. Oh, sorry. FizzBuzz implementation. Got this keyboard changing. So sorry. It is really horrible things. Okay, this is my method. Okay, and function. For example, I will send one number, check number. If you remember the scenario. Okay, what I will do, I will I will create one method. It will take one number. I will decide this is fizz or buzz or FizzBuzz. If you remember the case, yeah, we are trying to implement in the first place like this logic. Okay, algorithm. That's why I created one FizzBuzz and I exported this method with the module export. It means this FizzBuzz implementation is accessible by other methods. So return, for example, you can return anything. Return, for example, 1. Okay. Let's go to test. And like this to be 1. Let's test again. NPM test. As you see, according to TDD, step by step, even in an interview, you need to talk with the interviewer. You better to talk with them how you will implement, why you are doing these things, step by step. What we did in the first place, we failed our code in the first place, and then we haven't implemented anything. But we did one thing. We created our main method, and we put we returned anything just because of the testing purpose. The first step is failure. Second step is success. I haven't implemented any business logic yet. This is okay. So I can continue. Okay. Wait a second. Let's implement some business. Normally, if if I got 3 or multiple of 3, it will write this one, step by step. Let's implement. Okay. For example, I will send 3. Okay. What I am expecting, fizz. Let's run it. NPM test. Failed. Let's implement the business logic. What should I do? I need to implement this one, right? If it is so long, check number, for example, check number multiplier. Oops, sorry. Oops. 3 equal 0, return fizz. Okay. Let's test it. In the first place, this percentage means, it is the mode. If my variable divided to 3, 100%, it will return fizz. I am using the triple equal. In Node.js and in JavaScript, double equal is we are using double equal to compare the values of the variable. For example, 1 equal 1. This is true. Okay. But sometimes it shouldn't be true. Okay. If I use like this, it will be false. What I want to say, if I use double equal, it will compare only values. But if I use triple equals, it will compare also type. 100% equality, it will check. Okay, that's why I am using the triple equal. Don't forget, most of the JavaScript codes, you need to use triple equal. Okay, we implement our business logic. What was the test? If I send 3, I am expecting fizz. Is it true? NPM test. Let's have a look. Yeah, it looks okay. Let's test other one. For example, 6 should be fizz, right? Let's test. I think for 3, I am okay. And then I am, for example, updating my unit test title, fizz test, for example. You can write a long description to here, but better to give, yeah, I am giving the only one meaningful things. Let's test other one. For example, second. Sorry.
There's a question about this file in the chat, and it looks like an interesting one.
Let me have a look. Normally, I was going to check the chat at the end of the session because so many things to do.
Just would be easier to follow.
Okay. It means that, where was it? Which one? Which one do you?
The one about it describe and the FizzBuzz implementation being a standard express or the other.
Okay. Yeah, you know, as I said, in the first place, we are writing our test. We are not doing anything. For the test, all of them part of the jest. That's why describe this one and IT is a part of jest. We are using Express predominantly for the real implementation. For example, in a business class, I can use facility of the jest, facility of the Express. Later, I will create a router controller, for example, or I will grab variable from the paths or query parameters. I will use Express. But for the testing side, I will use the facility of the jest. What kind of other attributes jest has? Let me copy and paste my small notes. You know, for example, as you see in here, I use it some reserved keyword, describe. It is taking 2 parameters. First parameter is title. Second parameter is function. Okay, like a callback. This is the callback function. And IT has same. Yeah, exactly. You can use the for the documentation for the jest. Jest is really big world. It supports mocking and also so complex method validation as well. Yeah, in here, in general, what we are using for the testing to be falsy, to be treated, to occur, or we are using also some exception handling for the exception handling keywords as well. Okay, let's continue with the bus. Okay, what I am expecting 5 and 10. I am running the test. What will happen? It is completely wrong. Oops. Yeah, bus test, if I send 5 according to my description, as you see in here, if I send 5, it will write bus, or 10, it will. Let's check my code. Failed. Okay, let's jump to business. You know, I think slowly you understood the logic of TDD. In a one shot, I am not implementing the whole business, step by step, iteratively. Okay, let's implement my buzz logic in here. It will be similar, but this time it will return buzz. And there is another issue as well. I shouldn't break my previous test as well. Iteratively means step by step, I need to implement whole business iteratively. So let's run again, NPM test. You see, first test still working fine, second test passed. Okay, let's implement my FizzBuzz test. You know, I am not putting all tests in a one test. You know, I can, for example, I can copy this one. I can put it in here as well, okay? But it is not best practice. It is not nice. It is not readable, you know? Day to day, you know, if you do such a things, your test method will be so complex. You know, we should follow the solid principles in everywhere, okay? That's why we are separating all the cases in a different test. Okay, that's why iteratively I am developing. Yeah, what should I do? When I get one number, if it divided to 3 plus 5 at the same time, it will write FizzBuzz. It means, I think 15, right? 15 is similar, the one example, or 13. Okay. So FizzBuzz, let's run the test. What's happened? What will happen? Failed. 2 passed, 1 failed. It means my 2 tests still valid. This is the nice insight. Let's implement the last one as well. Okay, if something, you know, you can implement this method in a different way as well, because mathematically you can validate these cases in a different ways, but I am doing like this. Okay, FizzBuzz. Let's run my test. Yeah, everything passed. So if I jump to my steps, TDD steps, red, green, blue, you know, for example, what is something. I will handle other things as well. Invalid test, because as a developer, I want to handle every kind of scenario, right? What kind of scenario? For example, it can be null, right? What should it be? For example, invalid. I can return invalid. Yep. Let's have a look. If I send null, what will happen? Opa, you see, it failed, but 3 passed. Still, my 3 test is working fine. This is the good. It is, they are in my pocket. So let's jump to my method. If I take a null, if cn, sorry, null, return invalid. Okay. So let's run again, npm test. Yes, everything looks fine. Did I finish everything? No. because it can be another things as well. I'm sorry. Null or undefined. Yeah, what is the null? What is undefined? Let's talk about this topic as well. In a JavaScript world, in a JavaScript world, every variable can have different states. Variable can have some value or doesn't contain any value yet. You know, the differences between the null and undefined. Undefined means something like that. For example, sorry. Let's x, y, z. You know, if I try to use this x, y, z in here, console.log. Let's try. What will happen? I don't know, to be honest. You see, undefined. You know, but, sorry. Have a look. X, Y, Z equal null. If I write if I write it to console again, let's have a look. You know, in the first place, it is writing undefined, but second time it is writing null. I think you understood the topic, right? The point. The point is, when you create the variable, when you define the variable without any value, it will take undefined status state. You know, null is a value like a 1, 2, 3, 4 or ABC. You know, that's why undefined is you created value, but you didn't assign any value to this variable. But null is, yes, you created this value and you assign it null value. Okay, the differences between null and undefined like this. Keep in your mind, because you know, when I am doing when I interviewing the people on the phone, on the telephonic interview, I was asking, you know, can you explain what's the difference between the undefined and null? That's why don't forget. Yes, and I have to handle that kind of scenario as well. Yes, if I send undefined, what will happen? Let's have a look. Failed. You know, just you know, it is really nice things. You know, it is. But look, you know, where was it? Huh? Expected invalid, but receive it one. What a nice description, right? It is just that's why it is making our life so easy, you know, and it is making our test so easy as well. So why I am returning one? You know, when I send as undefined, if my variable is undefined, it is not this condition, not this condition, not this condition, not this one as well. That's why by default we are returning one, right? It is our first logic when we create the method. So let's continue. Maybe we can improve this one. Yeah, by the way, guys, I think it will take a little bit time. It is taking more time what I thought. If you're tired, we can stop, or if you want me to continue, I can continue. But at the end, you know, in my idea, I can better to complete TDD part. This is also really important part, and you learned so many important things for the Node.js. You know, Node.js like this, you know, step by step, we are implementing. As a coding side, it is not a big deal. As you see, you know, I am writing very simple logic. Okay. Yes, let me continue. Equal, undefined. Okay, let's have a look. NPM test. Yes, great. So let's continue to our other case. What will happen if I send minus, for example, 2? Am I able to handle this case? Or NPM test? What was the problem? Output invalid. Look, expected invalid, but receive it 1. I think this 1 is so headache for us for every other exception. Yes, let's have a look. Let's improve this part as well. Cn. Maybe we can put one up smaller than 0. Sorry. Smaller or equal than 0. It will return something. Yes. Did it finish? Let's have a look. We are getting an error. I think this is a problem. Invalid. I think it will solve so many problems. What do you think? Yes. Let's test other things as well. It can be so many different things. For example, I can send A, B, C. What will happen? So far, I think our testing criteria enough, I think, right? I can add, you know, some special character validation, for example, something like this, something like, oops, something like this, oops, like this. You know, at the end, I have to handle every kind of scenario, okay? And it looks nice. You know, this is the important part, okay? So our unit test handling every kind of scenario at the moment. And we implemented our business logic so far. It looks okay. The last part is blue part. What we are doing on the blue part. You know, blue part means you validated red, you validated failure, and then you validated green. It means you validated all of your business requirement. And what's the meaning of blue? Blue is optimization part. You know, it means yes, you implemented everything fine. Your test looks fine. Business looks okay. Let's refactor the code. What can we do? Let's have a look. As a developer, I think what kind of you know, optimization, refactoring things can we do? You know, for example, do you have any idea about it? You can write on the chat. What kind of optimization can we do on here? And verbally, you can say also. You can tell me what kind of suggestion Do we have any suggestion, guys? Yes, great. Thank you, Barbara. You are great. Yes, let's combine the if, because if we do something like that, for example, what we are doing, we are, first of all, we are checking these rules. Yes, we are returning if it is true, but if we don't return the value, and if we assign to variable, it what will happen? First of all, it will try to validate this one, and also this one, also this one. Yeah, for maybe our criteria this one, but it will still continue to validate with this one, with this one, with this one. It is not good solution. It is not optimized way. That's why we are using else, if else. Sorry, and else if else if, and if something or at the end it is same. Okay, let's run. Your unit test, can you imagine what kind of importance that we have on the unit test? We are refactoring the code. At the end, we are expecting everything works fine as before. That's why if we write proper unit test, it will make our life so easy. For example, after some other developer came to work and he or she implemented something, he put some business logic, and then he broke one business logic. Your unit test will alert. Okay, that's why it is so important. Yes, do you have any other optimization? I think it looks okay. Time is 8. I think in general, what kind of thing? Let me show you other part of the project. Because yesterday I prepared one project like this. Yeah. Sorry. Oops. Normally, what I did. In general, we can talk on the project and then we can jump to question and answer part. Like this, I am importing my package to my project. Okay, in the first place, if I want to use any package, from where I am downloading the package, let's have a look. NPM, for example, just if I want to download just npm.js.com is a global archive for the package. You can find so many things. Lodash, for example. Yeah, I am using this Lodash a lot, and if you want to use this package on your project, for example, just come to here and copy for the installation. Can you see weekly downloads 25 million? And if I want to add any package to my project, let's go to, I think this is our project. Okay. I am adding like this. It is, as you see, it is so simple, automatically. Yes, NPM is open source. Also, Yarn is open source as well. Predominantly, most of the JavaScript-based frameworks open source. Yeah, let's have a look. You know, I edit to load issues. Can you see? Yeah, like this. Go back to project. Okay. Yeah, I installed Express as a library, and like this, I am importing to my JavaScript class, and I am creating Express instance, and I'm assigning to const variable. Const mean it is creating immutable object. Okay, for the memory allocation, it is really nice. And these are the default settings for the REST API development. In here, for example, I can get a port from the environment variable. If for example, you are using the container technology like a Docker, you can take it from there. By default, like this, it means or. If it is empty, use this one. It's meaning like this. Okay, this pipeline, double pipe is or. And then I am creating the roots. Root is, for the REST API, at the end for the REST API, we have some methods: get, put, post, delete, options, headers. We have some standard W3C standards for the REST API. I am using to use them. I am creating one express routing object. I created, and then let's have a look what I am doing on the router. Yeah, I am creating one router. Can you see? Route and get. You can. We have so many other options as well. Route defines my address bar. What I am sending from here, variable equal something. Okay, this part comes to here. This express route mechanism with the root keyword, it is handling the address bar variables, and with this one, it means according to regular expression, if it is expecting such a path, and the last part of the path, it will be variable. Okay, according to regular expression, we are parsing our address, and root mechanism automatically doing on behalf of us. And then I am what I am doing, I am taking this address and sending to this method. What kind of method do I have? Get, post, put, delete. Okay, these are the standard things, standard methods for the REST API. But in here, get method is enough. Yes, I took the address bar with the variable, and then I forwarded this request to this method. Okay. Yeah, this is the controller. Most of the most of the REST API architecture built on MVC design pattern, model view controller. That's why I am creating, such a skeleton. I am creating one controller for the routing. I'm creating one service class for the business implementation. I am and then I am creating a model class for the input, output, or data transfer objects. Okay, that's why if we implement your project according to MVC design pattern, if some of you knows the AngularJS, for example, AngularJS is really nice implementation of MVC design pattern for the front-end side. When you look the project, you can easily understand which component doing what? Because you know, each component has really certain segregation and isolated. Yeah, of course, you can communicate with the other component, but you know, for the proper skeleton, better to follow MVC design pattern. Java guys using the same MVC design pattern. .NET Core guys, they are using the same pattern as well, and Node.js guys also following the MVC design pattern. It will make life your life easy. Yeah, this is my controller class. Controller class, router forwarding the request in the first place to controller class. And then from the controller class, I am doing my validation or something, some small things, you know. I am not doing any business on the controller. Okay, I can validate my input parameters, output parameters. I can attach JSON validator, schema validator to controller. That's all. And then I am jumping to my service class. Okay. Yeah, my service class, you know, what I am expecting with, in the first place, we implemented unit test for this service class. Okay. It means my service already ready. And it is all of my unit tests handling my business already. And via controller class, I already controlled and checked all of my input parameters via schema validator. You can use Joy, for example, for the schema validation, for the JSON validation. And it means my when I jump to business class, all of my controls and validation is already ready. Okay, that's why there is no such a big I don't need so big implementation in here. What I am doing in here, I imported also my FizzBuzz helper, and this is the another circular package for the circular dependency. And then you know, I created also one module, custom module. Yeah, just because of this, I am able to use this service class in controller, because I said in a service class, I am creating one class or method that is publicly accessible from the another class. And then my service class taking 3 parameters: request, all of my address bar. Okay, what I am sending to my router to controller, I can directly reach these variables via request. And response means at the end, when I finish my work, I will send response to front end. What I want to send to front end, I am putting in a response. That's why I am putting my response to send. It means, you know, all of them contains some functions as well. That's why I am saying yes. This business class, this business method will return to front end this information. You know what I am sending. I am sending the number that I sent via browser, and then I am sending the results. You know, in general, like this. Let's have a look. Is it working or not? I'm sorry. NPM start. Yeah, server started on port 3000. Let's go to 3000. Okay. Localhost 3000. As you see, it is empty. Let's have a look. Yeah, to see, to understand my endpoint, let's go to controller. Where is my controller? Oh, sorry. Yeah, router. Yeah. If I go that URL, after the localhost 3000, I am able to see my response, you know, the project name and version. You know, we are creating such a, you know, simple endpoint just because of the health check, you know. If you think that we are creating microservice and hundreds microservice running at the same time, you know, at the end, you need to monitor your microservice. You know, such an endpoint, you know, with such a simple endpoint, you can easily check your microservice health via header status. You know, if I am able to get response from here, it means this microservice healthy. It is working fine. Okay, keep in your mind. And my second endpoint, that is real business implementation. For example, 3. You know, I sent 3, result is fizz. Let's run. 5, buzz, and 15. You see everything. Yeah, for this one is very simple, but for that one, you know, the magic of this game like this, you know, when you start to play this game with your friends, with the small numbers, yeah, everybody can, yeah, this is the fizz, this is the buzz, this is the FizzBuzz, and but step by step, when you go to big numbers, it is not easy to calculate. Okay, that's why we are using the program for this game. Yeah, guys, in general, like this, the program is like this. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, this time I prefer to follow this method instead of the PowerPoint presentation. What do you think? And do you have any question? And did you understood? Did you understand anything? Did you like? Yes, it is your turn.
I loved the whole thing, and thank you very much for doing this. I think it was really easy to follow, and thank you for answering our questions. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really, you made me happy.
Hi, sorry,
yeah.
I might have missed. Yeah, I might have missed, but are you going to send the recording?
Yes. I will publish on YouTube channel, and on the Meetup channel, I will send you the link.
Okay, great. And another thing was that when you created the GitHub repository for the FizzBuzz, where and how did you add the README and the JSON file? Because it got downloaded automatically in the VS Code.
Yeah, it was. Let's complete the last part. You know. Yeah. So far we completed everything, right? And let's stop the things. Yeah, when we finish the project, what we are doing. For example, imagine we completed and everything working fine. Let's have a look what we did so far. Or let's jump to okay. Yeah, where am I now? Yeah, in a project. First of all, I am checking the status of the project, you know, what I did so far. Yeah, I want to hide this one because it is distracting me. Yeah. Okay, it means if something is orange or red, it means you modified these things, you know. And if you want to send this code to your GitHub in a simple way, what we are doing in the first place, let's git branch By the way, tomorrow we will do also a Git event as well, how the Git works. If you are not sure about the Git, how it is working, yeah, you can attend as well to that event, because as a lead developer, I saw, yeah, in general, we know so many language or tools, but we know basic things. Sometimes better to go a little bit detailed, better to go deep. That's why Git is a really magic thing, and it is really big work, and it is developed by Linus Torvalds, maybe the Linux creator. Yeah. So my active branch is this one, and this is my master branch. In the first place, I need to commit all the changes to GitHub. Git at something like this. Oh my God! I forgot to ignore Node modules. Let's have a look. Yeah, I will add one git ignore file, because the important things in your project, the biggest size is this folder. Okay, normally you don't need these things. Package.json enough for everything. When you commit only package.json to your GitHub, your CI/CD, yeah, maybe you are using the Circus CI or Jenkins or other DevOps, your build scripts automatically install Node modules when they require. That's why no need to commit Node modules to GitHub, because every day they are publishing new version, they are finding some vulnerabilities. That's why we don't prefer to commit Node modules to server Git repository. Not how we are doing these things. Node modules. Git status. Oh my God. Let's have a look. Oh my God. I don't want to commit them. Okay. Node modules, Node modules. Git ignore. It is okay. And then we are committing our changes, first commit for FizzBuzz. With this one, I am sending my changes to server, and then git push. 3 commands. It will give such a warning in the first place. Don't worry, just copy and paste this one. Okay. For the second time, it won't ask. Okay. Let's have a look to GitHub. You see all of my changes on GitHub. And readme file, if you prepare something, like this, it will be very nice. You see, it is a brand new project, but I think it looks not bad. I think it looks nice. Okay, that's all for me. Yeah, let's continue for the question and answer, and then we can finish. Oh, okay. Yeah, anyone else has any questions? Otherwise, that's all from me. Do you have any questions, guys? I am going. I'm tired. Okay. Thank you very much as well. Yeah, see you later, and you can follow our events on Meetup and on Eventbrite. Also, when you have any question, let me know. You can directly send me a message, and I can try to answer. Yeah. Good night. See you. Bye bye.